Okay. So, hi team, good evening. Recording has been started. So, in today's agenda, today's session, what we have is we are going to see the services part. Okay. So that is why I just open this paper and open this screen in front of you. Did you guys remember when I have given the complete picture of the architecture, right? Angular architecture. So at that time I told you that your Angular, right? In your Angular architecture, you have modules, you have directives, you have components, and then I told you something called services. Remember services? So services are nothing but, as I told you, that this is this is basically providers which provide its service, provider which inject into component and provide the business logic, provide the data, get the data, right? Service is the one which basically holds all the business logic. We don't put our UI logic, we don't put our logic, we don't put our business logic in our component class, right? Component class is only to take data and show the data, which means event binding and property binding. But all the business logic will go into your service. Correct? All the business logic will go into your service. Correct? So today we're going to see the service part, which is the most important one. And at this place and at this time, your Angular architecture will be over, because after service, whatever comes next is not a part of your Angular architecture. But yes, it is a part of your workflow. It will be part of your workflow, but it will not be part of your Angular, right? When I say Angular workflow means to complete a to have a complete picture, we need API and DB also. Correct? Without API or DB DB sorry, without API and DB, your workflow is incomplete, right? Because ultimate goal is to do what? The ultimate goal is to basically pass the data through API, pass the data to DB, or fetch the data from the DB, correct, through API, right? So let's check that. Yeah. So let's see the service part today. So we'll pick the same application, because it's good if we take the same service and try to, if we take the same application and try to evolve that application, try to add things into it only, and see how the picture will look like. Okay. So same application we have as of now, my dream app, right? Yeah. So let's do this. So here what I will do now is, let's take a proper component. So we add login component, we add register component. So I don't think as of now injecting service in this would be a good idea. So what I will take is I'll create a new component and new service for it, and let's see how we can decorate it. Okay, how we can decorate our component with service, or I should say how we can inject our service into our component and see the complete picture. Okay, and see the complete picture of Angular. Let's do that. So for that, let me just go to app component.html, and let me just do one thing. Let me comment whatever is done so far. Let me just comment it. We don't need it as of now, so I'm just commenting it. Okay. And again, I have a fresh start, right? Again, we have a fresh start. So what we do now is we quickly add a new component. Can you guys just simply tell me what is the command to add a component, new component? Any idea? Quickly, how to add a new component? You can put it in the chat quickly. I wanted to know from all of you. Quick. Good. So great. Meher, NGGC and then followed by the component name, isn't it? So I guess you missed the component name. Rest all of you are correct. Yes, yes. Ravi, I guess those dash 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 is nothing but a component name, right, Ravi? Good, awesome. So you all are correct. Good. I'm glad you remember the command, which means you are practicing. If not, after today, you will not get time to practice the previous one. Trust me, right? So we are going to start the the live project from tomorrow onwards. So no time to do a practice. So if you have not done it till now, please do it today itself. Okay. So let's add a component. Say ng g and then c. Ng is Angular command. G is generate. C for component. Followed by component. So what is the component I wanted to add? Course. So what exactly I wanted to do is I wanted to show the list of courses. Okay. I wanted to show the list of courses to the user on the screen. Okay. So let's quickly do that. So done. Enter. Let's see. Okay, so you can see same old story. It has created 4 files and updated the module. So very first thing is updating a module. So whatever component Angular has created, it has updated the module, default module, which is our app module, parent module, with the course component. First part done. Second thing, what is the second step, guys? What is the second step? Any idea? Any idea? Quickly, team, everyone on the chat. What should be the next step? I have added a course component. Now I wanted to show it. How should I be showing it? I got only 4 answers. So Sandeep is saying AppRoot, but what is AppRoot? Udit is saying select name in the TS. Pranshu saying adding selector to required HTML file. Call that HTML. Okay. Okay. Sandeep is saying AppRoot in app.component.app.html file. Okay. Pranshu from GVK is saying what is that? HTML tag, throw HTML tag or class attributes. No. Sandeep Mohit saying add selector of course in app.component.html. Yeah. So far, Mohit has given a right answer. Add the course component selector in app component.html. Utkarsh is also correct. Put the course component selector name in the app component.html. Absolutely right. Ravi, you are also correct. Yeah. So good. Okay, guys, practice, practice, please. You need to remember all these things, right? So what I need to do is we need to see the selector name of course component. Let's see that. Let's see what it is. So its name is app course, correct? So this is the selector name. And today here, I wanted to show you something. It's not a thumb rule that it has to be app course only. You can put it by you can put any name to it. For example, I can simply say course. That's it. Course is my course is the selector name of my component. Simple, right? Now what you do is go to app component.html and here open course, open open close angular brackets and put course into it, right? So we call the course component here. Any doubt? Any question? And start the application. Say npm start. So it has started ng serve. Okay. Meanwhile, it is starting. Let's do the further development. Okay. Let it compile. Let it compile. Let's do the further development. Okay. What is next? Oops. So it says if course is an Angular component, then verify it's a part of what did I miss? Did I not save? Yeah. See, the mistake what I've done is I change from app course to course, but I did not save the file. So now I saved the file. Now it will understand what is course. Let's see. Yeah, so you can see, right? You can see it has been added and it is compiled successfully. So now if I see it over the internet, say local 4200, yeah, so it says coursework, right? Any question, any doubt, guys? Any question, any doubt? Anything you wanted to ask me? Tell me, team. Okay, so all good. Great. So now let's add a service now. Okay, let's add a service now. So guys, did you all remember this diagram, right? You understood, right? So from service, the data go to component class, and from component class, it goes to HTML, correct? Or data will go from class, whatever data class got from HTML, it will capture and pass the data to the service, right? So you are pretty much aware of the work of service. All clear? All clear? Any question, any doubt? This is the right time. So now what I will do is, all clear, yeah? Good. So what we do now is, we'll add a service. How? Again, I will kill my server. And now I'll add a service. So to create a service, what we usually do is, we create a folder called provider. Under app, you add a folder, right click on the app, right click, say new folder, and there you put the folder names called provider. You will find a folder called service also, but what I have seen, or what I will prefer is, use the folder name as provider, not service. So my folder name is provider, and now inside provider you have to add a service. So how you'll be doing that? You will go inside the provider folder. So the commands would be cd. After cd, it should be source, because inside source only you have your app folder. Then go inside the not course, not login, not provider, yeah, provider. So go inside provider, right? And after going inside a provider, you create a service. So what is the command to add a service? Ng service, right? Okay, so ng for generate service, followed by service name. I say course, that is my service name. Enter. So now what it should do is, it should create a new service into your provider folder. So you can see it has been written also, correct? Created course dot service dot ts under provider folder. So let's check this one. Okay. So Pranshu has a question: why don't we create a service directly to the root using create service command ng service? So I have also created the same command, and it has been created to root only. First of all, see my command. What is my command? The command which I fired is the same, ng-g. After G, I put service, because so far we were adding, component. So the command for adding component was ng-g-c, C for component. So if I write component, or if I write shortcut C, is same. Correct? So here also I type the same command, but instead of component, I need to write a service. So my command should be, ngg service followed by service name. Yeah. But that service should be in a provider folder. The service should be in a provider folder. That is why I went inside the provider folder. Correct? If I don't go into the provider folder, what is going to happen is, it will add a service at the app level only. I mean app folder level only. Are you getting my point or not? Is that clear to you or not? Let me just add a service like this. Maybe then you guys will understand. No issues, no problem. Let me add one service. So let me do one thing. I say, let us go back and go to root folder. cd dot dot cd dot dot. Yes, and this is my root folder. So I'm saying ng-g service at the root folder only. I'm saying ng-g-c service followed by the service name. Let's say user service, user. So it is going to create a user service. Enter. Yeah, so you can see. And what it has done is, you can see that what is a drawback. It has created user service at the app level only. Correct? Whereas we should have all the service into a group or into a folder. Correct? Either called service folder or called provider folder. Is that clear to you? So, Pranshu, does it answer your question? Yes or no? So is it yes or no? Guys, Pranshu, did that answer your question? Right? Okay, good. So now let's start using the service. So now I will go into the provider folder and I will go to course service, and in course service, correct, I will start putting my logic, right? So Pranshu still has a question, but it is provider folders. It's a specific reason to do. Okay. So there's no special reason. So what Pranshu is going to ask is a good question. So what Pranshu is going to, I mean, what Pranshu wanted to, is asking is, wanted to know is there any specific reason that why we are putting, is there any specific reason that why we are putting the service into a provider folder, or we are just grouping it? So there is no specific reason. We are just grouping all the service and putting it under one folder, either called service or called provider. So a lot of in lot of project you will see they have a folder called service, and in lot of project you will see there is a folder called provider. Both are same, both has the same meaning, which is collecting this service or grouping this service. That's it, nothing else, right? Okay, so just give me 2 minutes, guys. I'm coming back in 2 minutes. Just give me 2 minutes, and then we start the service part. Okay, just 2 minutes. Meanwhile, if you have any question, just put in the chat. Yeah. Yeah, then I'm back. Is my voice audible? Is my voice audible? Great. So let's quickly check how exactly the service will work, right? Okay. So now what what you see is in the service again, same old story, no change. If I remove this extra thing which is on top of my service, so you can see what it is basically. What is this? Can you guys answer in the chat? If I remove this decorator, if I remove this part, what do you see? What it is basically? All of you, please tell. So Pranshu is saying basic TS file. No, not basic TS file. What it is? Anyone wants to try? Don't worry. See, you guys don't have any baggage to be right or wrong. No, just answer what you think. Just answer. Okay, that's the best part about learning. There's no baggage. So brilliant, Pinky. Brilliant. It's a class. Yes, Ravi. It's a class. Absolutely correct. So Mehboob is saying it is relating the page to component part. Class. Class. So class file without injectable service. Absolutely correct. Yes. Now you're right, Pranju. So Devam is saying class. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. So what it is? It's just a class, and that's what you have seen in the component also. If you see app component or any other component, let's say course component. If you see course component, without this metadata, without this component direct, I guess I've told you this one previously also. Without this, what is this? Without the component decorator, what do you see it is? If I remove it, what it is? It is not a component now. It's just simple class. That is what I told you. When you add a decorator on top of a class, when you add a decorator on top of class, like component decorator, then you're making a then your class become component. When you add a decorator called ng module, when you add a decorator call ng module on top of a class. As of now, this ng module is what? Now again same question. This ng module is what now? What it is as of now? Just a class. Again same thing. Just a class. So when you add a decorator called ng module on top of it, then this class will become a module, right? Is that clear to all of you guys? Did you understand this part? So every TS file, 99.9% times the TS file is going to be class, correct? But when you add a decorators on top of your class, then the meaning of the class, is going to change. All clear, right? Any question, any doubt? Now let's go back to the service again. So here the service is also nothing but a class. But if you add a decorator called injectable on top of it, then this class will become a provider or a service or injectables. One and the same thing. No change. Now here what else we'll see is, I'll show you encapsulation abstraction also later, but let's first of all focus on the business logic part of service. I mean, what exactly service does, correct, in real time scenario. So as I said, your service is going to basically contain all the business logic. So what kind of business logic? So if I say that we have a course service, so what do you see it will contain? What is the business logic that it will be having? Any idea? I wanted to note down one by one. Yeah, tell me guys. Point one, what do you see a course service, what business logic a course service will be containing or will be having? Tell me. Tell me in the chat. Please speak. Tell me in the chat. Yeah. So far I have only one answer. So Meher is saying HTML part. You Mehboob is saying teaching, practicing. No. Pinky is saying features of app. At least you are close, Pinky. But still, very far from answer. I mean, close towards the answer, but actual answer, very far from that. But you are in the right direction. Ravi is saying course duration. That is one of the information. But I mean, if I say service holds the business logic, so what business logic you see? So Pranshu from Gurukul is saying serve all those who had subscribed to his functionality. But that's a motive of service you're saying. So whoever will be subscribing to the service, whoever will be using or consuming the service, correct, will be using its functionality. Yes, I know that is what going to happen, correct. But I'm saying which kind of functionality do you see core service will be having? Okay, let me not just waste your time. Okay, maybe adding a course. Yes or no? Adding a course. Yes or no? List of course. Yes or no? Update course. Agree? Delete course. Agree? Get course by ID. Agree? Get course by cost. Agree? Get course by type. Agree? Guys, do you agree? I mean, these are few of the functionality, but like that, but like this, there can be n number of business logic, correct, or functionality that your service will be handling. Guys, do you agree or not? Do you agree or not? So adding course, list of all the courses, updating the course, I mean, course information, deleting the course, get the course by ID. I wanted to get the course information by ID, so I can put that functionality in the service. Then get the course by cost. I wanted to see the course cost which is more than 10,000 or less than 10,000 or between this range, correct. Get the course by type, very important. I mean, the course is designing, development, programming, correct. What is the course type? So these can be the probable functionality that I foresee in my course service basically. Do you guys agree or not? Finally, then we start the development. Then we start the development. Yeah, great. So let's start making the functions. So we will not make all the functions, but few important ones. For example, let's see the course list. Okay. So what I will be doing is I will be creating a public, or I'll be creating a variable. Let's say course list, which is of okay. So we create a course class. Remember in the first practical session, I showed you how to create a type, your own type. I guess we might be having it also. So I can copy paste from there. Okay. So do you all agree on this? I will be having one class. I mean, I will created one class called course type. And what I'm doing is I'm saying course array? Yes or no? Did you guys understand this part? Yes or no? And yeah, I guess I did one mistake. Or no, I didn't do any mistake. All good. So I have created one class, one type, basically one class, course type. And then I say my course list variable is nothing but the list of or array of course object. So which means I will be having multiple course objects. Did you guys agree on this or not, or did you guys understand this part or not? If no, please say no. So shall I consider this one as your understanding? Yes, you understood, all of you. I guess Ravi, you joined late, maybe 2 sessions late. That's why you have this confusion. No problem. Let me just answer quickly. So just like we have, we say course name, it is of string type, right? So this you understood, Ravi. So if I create a variable and I say it is of string type, so which means the course name is a property or a variable which is of string type. Agree? Yeah. Similarly, one second. Similarly, your course is basically a type which we have created, we created user defined type. String is system defined type. It is already defined in the system, so I don't need to worry about it. I don't need to declare it, right? I will get it as it is. But the course is the type, correct, which we have created. So is it clear to all of you? Yes or no? Please quickly. Okay, great. So you all understood. So now my course list is a list of course, right? I have a question, I guess. No, I don't have a question. Good. So now, in the constructor, I will say this dot course list equals to empty. As of now, this list is empty, so no data in it. So from now onwards, my business logic is going to start. Just like I have mentioned, these many what do you call it, functionalities, right? That your course class, course service might be having. So I'm picking one of it. List of courses, okay? List of courses, or get all courses, get all courses. So let's start from this one. So I create one method, right? Say get course list, right? Say get course list. It's a function, and curly braces open close because we are going to give body to it. And what this get course list method is doing, it is returning again, not a single course. It is returning the entire course list. You got my point, guys? Did you understand this part or not? Did you understand this part or not? Great. Now what we do is, because it is returning the course list, I say return what? Return course list. So guys, don't get confused. Just pay attention here and listen to me. So I have created a skeleton of my method. Skeleton or signature of my method, not signature, sorry, skeleton of my method I have created. My method name is get course list. It is going to return the list of courses. Correct. This course type is its return type. It will return an array of course object. Correct. So we will get data from API. As you all know, we will be getting data from APIs always. But since we don't have APIs of now, correct? Since we are not, talking to API, or we don't have APIs of now, so we do do hard code. So I said this dot course list, right? Dot or equals to array, and in the array, what I will be doing is I will be adding multiple objects, okay, of courses. Like, just check. So name, I say Angular. Version, I say 9. Cost, type, I say UI. So it's a string, so it should be in single quote. Version is number, so it should be without single quote. Cost is number, so without single quote. Type is a string, so within the single quote. What else? Yeah. Why is active is not coming? Oh, sorry, I didn't put the comma. So comma is active. So is active is boolean type. So I say true. Yes, it is. It is active. Like this, I can add multiple basically objects. React, Ionic, AWS, Mean, Mon. Then in inactive, also let all be true. No worries. We'll change it later. Let it be like this. Cost will change it. Say 100, 150, 200, 250, 300, and then 350. Right now, what next? Now, you see, consider that we have got the data from API. That is why I put that we will get the data from the API, which means we will get courses from API, from DB through API. Is this clear to you, all of you guys? Are we good till this point? Yes or no? Simple. Yes or no? And this course name, I'm just changing the course name to title, 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 right? String. And what I'll be doing is, guys, be careful, switch off your videos, right? Okay. So what I'm doing is I'm just passing the data to title, I said this dot title equals to, I will say, list of courses, right? List of courses. Did you get my point? Yes or no? Is this clear to you? Clear to all of you till now? Great. So Pinky, is it clear to you? So people who are not from the technical, is it clear to all of you? Are we good? Okay, so Pinky is saying, please repeat last line. I would say leave last line. Okay, let me comment this last line. We don't need this last line. Okay, done. You tell me, is this function clear to you? Get course list or not? Simple question. Great. So course list is a function name. Course array is the return type. I mean, this function is returning the list of courses, correct? Right? And inside this function, we are getting the data. Basically, we will be getting the data from the DB through API, and will populate it, through the database. But as of now, because we don't have the DB, we don't have the API, so we have hard coded it, right? Now, what is next, guys? Can you just guide me? What is the next? What should be the next step, as per you? What should be the next step? What I should be doing next? We have our service ready. What we should be doing next? Team, your suggestions? Your suggestions? Okay, I got suggestions. So Nitin saying calling function, Mabu is saying use this service in the HTML part. No. Service cannot be used in the HTML part. Just, I mean, just recall, what did I say? Just recall. Service will be injected to. So Pranshu from GVK, I mean, Gurukul is saying bind to HTML. No, that's an end goal. I'm saying this service will be called where? So yes, Mehboob, now you're right. Component. Yes, Sony, you're right. Component. Correct. So Ravi, again, calling a function, but where? What we should do? You're saying we should call a function. Okay, I also agree, call a function, but where? So as I told you earlier, and as I showed you this diagram also previously, whatever you do in your service, correct, that would be associated to your class. Component class means if you have a data, so you will be passing it to the component class, which means your service will be injected to component. Okay, so let's do that quickly. So what is my component name? Course component. So let's go to course component. In course component, what we do is we say import. In the import, first of all, call the service, right? Give the path of the service, where the service is. So dot slash, no, double dot means 2 floors up, 2 folders up. So I am inside the course and the service is in the provider folder. So one dot is to go at the course level and second dot is to go at the app folder level. So at app folder level, now we are at the app folder level. So at app folder, yes, I have a provider folder, enter slash service. See how simple it is. So here I would say course service. I need to basically, import course service. So this is just I imported, but I have not injected it. I have not used it. This is just a reference, means I'm just calling it. I'm just calling course service, but it is not injected yet. So how we're going to inject it? We have a constructor. We call this part, we call this process dependency injection. Dependency injection. Pardon the spelling mistake, guys. Right? So now if you see what is happening, I will be injecting my course service over here. Please pay attention, very important. Private, then I say COURS course service, and it is of course service type. Now I know it'll be little difficult for you to understand. I should say little difficult for you guys to digest this, but let's see it step by step. Okay, don't worry. Let's see it step by step. So this process is called dependency injection. Why I need this? Why I need to do this circus? Very simple. When this course component will load, what we want is, or what we do is, we load all the dependencies also. Correct? For example, in course component, we need 5 services. In course component, what we want is, when course component will load, we need 5 services. Authentication service, user service, let's say, course service, let's say, right? Trainer service, correct? Or let's say cost service. So we need 5 services. So which means the course component is having dependency on 5 services. So what I should do? I should resolve that dependency. How? I should be calling all the services in the constructor. Why? So that, why? Because when constructor will initialize, it will call all the service. It will initialize all the service. It will call all the service. It will inject all the service at the time of its own initialization. Your component, when your component will call, your component will initialize all these services, or inject these services, correct? Or in simple term, call these services at the time of initialization only, right? Correct, team? Did you understand this part? And this process is called dependency injection. So whatever dependencies are there, I have injected. Dependencies for whom? Please pay attention here. Dependency for whom? Dependencies or dependency for component. So whatever dependency or dependencies are there on component, what component doing is at the time of constructor calling, means when component will get initialized, at that time component is also calling those services, those dependencies, so that all will go in. Sorry, 1 second guys. Yeah, I'm back. So that all will call in one shot. Is this part clear? Are we good with the dependency injection? Any question, any doubt you have? Any question, any doubt we have? So Mahbub has a question, why it is private? Okay. And it means if we create multiple services, all services are dependent to this constructor. Absolutely correct. When I say constructor, means component, because constructor belongs to the component. Is it clear to you guys? Is this dependency part clear to all of you? And why we call it private is so that, okay, oops concept. What do you mean by private? If we declare any data member or data function as private, we cannot call it outside the body of class. Same thing here, private. So that we cannot use this service variable which we created, this course service variable, so that we cannot be able to use this one, use this one outside the body of class. Any other question you have, guys? Is that clear to all of you? Team, we need to work together, right? So if you need to work together, we need to communicate, correct? So if you understood, say yes. If you don't understand, say no. Do remember, this is not a course we are doing. We have to start a live project, correct? Good, very good. So let's now take. Okay, so next step is, now since we have done the dependency injection, correct? So next step is call this method. Now question is where I should call this method, where I should call the service. So what I want is basically when the component will load, when the component will initialize, that time itself I wanted to basically call the service and use the method, correct? So what should I do in that case? So shall I call it in the constructor? because when constructor will start, correct, that time I can load the data, or I should use this ng on it when component will be initializing. At that time, correct, I should be calling the service to fetch all the data. What do you say, guys? What do you say, guys? So I would say ng on init is a best method to call the service to fetch the data, because ng on it means your component is initializing now. Your component is initializing now. Okay, so this is the best time you can call the service and get the data, because your service is also calling the API to fetch the data. Okay, so your service, if you remember your service is returning the list of courses, correct? The list of courses. Do you have any variable at the component side to receive that data? Okay, let's pay 30 seconds on this phenomena. Maybe you already might be knowing it, but let's revise it one more time. We have a function which returns something, correct? We have a function which returns something. Okay, so when a function doesn't return anything, then you don't declare any variable to take the value. You just call the function, and function will do its stuff. Done. But when a function basically returns something, correct, then you do create a variable, correct, which will hold the response, correct, which will hold the response or result coming from the function. Do you guys agree on this or no? When your function returns something, you must have a variable which will take whatever your function is returning. Yes or no? Yes or no? Great, super. So I am saying, I will say, let me just call this service. I said this dot course service, which is this variable course service. I said this dot course service dot get course list. Get course list. Now you see my get course list, as I said, is returning me the list of courses. It is returning the list of courses. Do I have a variable to take that value or to take that array? Do I have a variable or class property which will take the return from the function? Do I have it as of now? Yes or no? Team, yes or no? Do I have any variable as of now which will take the value which your function is returning? No? Yes? All of you. Again, you don't have any baggage, guys, so don't worry about answer would be right or answer would be wrong. Don't worry about it. Just speak as per your understanding. So Pranshu is saying no. From Gurukul, Pranshu is saying no. Rohit is saying we have to create one. Mary is saying no. Pinky is saying no. Pranshu from Gurukul is saying we need to make one. Ravi is saying no. Deepam is saying no. So you all are right, but few special point goes to Pranshu and Rohit, that yes, we don't have the variable, but we need to create one, right? So you all are correct. We need to create one. So what kind of variable I will be creating? Again, next question. See, I will not leave you like this, correct? So if you are in my session, you have to be active. Okay, so Rohit saying array, Pranshu saying local variable using let. I'm saying what kind of variable you required? What kind of? What kind of? So Mohit is saying it must be a list. Ravi is saying array. Rohit is saying array. Pinky is saying string type array. Okay. Deepam saying array. Okay. So you all are correct. But Pinky, you said string type array. No, not string type array. Because if you see your service, if you go to your service, right? If you go to your service, the get resource list method or function is returning the list of course or array of course, you should say, or I should say array of course. So I should also be having variable which is array of course. Agree or not? I should also be having an array of course. Agree or not? So here you will see one more problem, and you will try to find a solution of it. So you can see whenever I need to use course class, I need to create again and again. Are you guys getting it? So in service, I need course type, so I'm creating a class. Now in component also, I need course type, right? I'm again creating a class. I'll ask you later what we need for that, but just as of now, just use it. Let's use it. So I say courses or course items or courses, anything is fine. Create a variable or property, class property, courses, right? Courses, which is an array of course type. Is this right or wrong? Is this right or wrong? So Utkarsh saying we need interface. Yes, Utkarsh, I will come to interface. I'll come step by step, right? Step by step. Okay, so now is it fine if I say this dot courses equals to this dot course service dot get course list? Is this correct? Yes or no? All of you, yes or no? Now is it making sense that my get course list method of service, I mouse over in it, it is returning the array of courses, right? Array of courses, array of course, and same type of variable I have created at the left hand side, which is taking the value, right? Agree? Is it right? My mistake. Rohit is saying I did not understand the last step. So see Rohit, it is what you suggested. I did the same thing. You said create an array. So I created an array. See courses. It's an array of course type. Array of course type. Course is your class. Course is your type. This course is your type, is your class. So you created courses. It's an array. How do you know it's an array? Because we have created it. We said it's a array of course type. So course is an array. And then what I did, I said this dot courses equals to whatever my get course list method is returning. So now what will happen is, let me just show it to you through annotation. One second. So whatever your course list is going to return, that list or that array of courses will be passed on to courses property. You understood or not? Now, is it clear to you now or not? So whatever your get course list is returning, which is nothing but the list of courses, it is now getting passed to our class variable courses. I guess this should be fine, right? Do we still have any question? Let's see. Understood, right? Super. Now can you guys suggest me what next? Quickly, what next? What next? Okay. So Ravi is saying print the value. Okay. Meher is saying we will show the course list. Where? Meher, where? Sony saying call on HTML page. Meher, I'm still searching for your answer. Where? You said we will show the course list. Okay. On the HTML page. Okay. Next. Next. Team. Answer. link with HTML. Okay. Print the value by using course. Mohit is saying, but where again? Mohit, where? Print it where? Be specific. You are technical now. So Pranshu from Gurukul is saying on the HTML page. Okay, or console. Okay. Deepam on the HTML. Mohit, I'm still waiting for your answer. You said print the value by using course. So Utkarsh is saying on the HTML page, course.component.html. So Mohit is saying on the component.course.html. I understood. Okay. So you all are right. Correct. And I guess you all understood now. I guess Pinky, you missed, you didn't answer. So the correct answer is, as I said, you all are, you all are correct. Basically, now I need to print these courses on the HTML. Correct. So let's go to HTML. Let's go to course.component.html. Right. And yes, Meher is right. This process, I was about to ask this question also. What we call this process? We call it property binding. What we call? Property binding. See, we are achieving the same architecture what I showed. Correct. So what is the current architecture? What is the architecture of Angular? We are doing exactly the same thing. We have data in the service. We pass it to our class component class, and then with the help of property binding, we'll be printing it on the HTML. Right? We'll populate the HTML. Let's do that quickly. So my next question, please, guys, you have to be you have to be on your toes. Okay, be quick. So how I should be printing it? What is the way to print it? Come on, fast. I need to print the list of courses where I have course name, course, is active, its type, right? Its version. So how do you see I should be printing it? Quickly. Basic HTML. Basic HTML, no fancy stuff. How do you see I should be printing it? So Utkarsh is saying ng4. That's okay. Take care, right? But HTML wise, using loop, correct? Absolutely right, Ravi. Rohit is saying in the table, fine, absolutely right. Utkarsh is saying ng4, correct. Rohit is saying with the help of ng4, good. Mohit is saying use loop, good. Others, guys, others. We have other people also in the group. Please answer. Pinky is saying using loop, absolutely correct. Okay, now I will ask the specific answer. Specific question. What will be the HTML tag that I will be using? Which HTML element I will be using? Is it fine if I use table? What do you guys say? So, yeah, agree, table. So in the table, I put tr. So tr will have table heading. Okay, heading like name of the course. One column will be for the heading. So name, tell me the property of course object, name, cost, what else? Version, what else? Guys, quickly. Name, version, cost, what else? Let me just check. Name, version, cost, type and is active. Type and is active. Is active. Super. Okay. So now, so one row is for the heading. Next onwards, row should be presenting the data. So now you tell me, what should I do? Shall I create multiple rows here, or you tell me? What do you guys say? What should I do now? Because heading should be static, but data should not be static. Rows should not be static, right? Rows should be dynamic. So what do you guys suggest? I'll start from Pinky. Pinky, can you answer? Meher is saying loop. Rohit is saying dynamic approach, of course, ng4. Mohit, Rohit, they're saying loops, good. Meher is saying loop. Anyone else? Pinky is saying ng4, good. Okay, great. So you all agree we will be using loops. So what loop? As I already told you that for any functionality, any functionality that you see we should be having, there is a directive for it. Correct. So ng for loop functionality, I have for loop directive. I say ng for for I say ng for directive. Sorry. Say let course is a local variable course, or I should say item, right? Any variable you can take, any iterator you can take. So let item of courses, right? What is courses? Courses is my, what is courses, guys? Course is my class variable, right? A class property, I should say class property. Course is my class property that I need to print. So that is what I'm doing. This exercise we have done it in the last session also, right? We have seen for loop. So let item of courses, and now whenever this is happening, I mean when the loop is happening live, so you have to have a multiple TDs table, table data. So curly braces open close, say item dot name, and like this you need multiple, you need to fill other columns as well. One second. Name spelling wrong, name, and then version, then cost, then type, and then is active spelling correct? That's how we declare. Yes, is active. Super. So now when I save, I should be able to see the list of courses on the screen. Let's see that. But before that, I need to start the server also. So npm start. Whew. Now, so it's compiled successfully. Let's refresh it. See, now you can see the list of courses. And if I say F12, correct, inspect element, if I wanted to show you, you can see on or at your app root or inside your app root, you have a course component, right? And course component, you can see all the TRs which you see has generated dynamically. It's not a static one. It's a dynamic TRs basically. Dynamic table rows. Yeah, dynamic table row. Yeah. So any question, any doubt you have, guys? Any question, any doubt you have? Yes, no, anything? No, right? So I will not extend today's session after this, because you guys have to practice till this point. Anything after this point, if I stretch, it will add a confusion. I know few of you have not practiced the last session. Okay, what I will request you guys is, tomorrow we are starting with the live project, correct? So first of all, congratulations to all of you, correct? And I say all the best for tomorrow's live project which you're going to start. But that blessings or that congratulations or the greetings will be of no use if you will not do the practice. Okay, please do practice. Make sure till this services you do everything whatever we have done so far, so that very happily and confidently you will be going to tomorrow's live project. And trust me guys, 90% of the time, 90% of the time, you will be playing with these kind of situations only. Creating, I mean, list property bindings, event bindings, right? Property bindings, event bindings, playing with the directives. That's it. 90% of the time, 80-90% of the time. This is going to be your day-to-day activity. So if you practice this and you say, I'm confident, life project is waiting for you. Did you guys got my point? Is that clear to all of you? Are we good? Right? And I wanted to add one small assignment, small change to it. Okay. So what I want is, please, listen to it carefully. What I want is, let me just draw and tell you. If I give you HTML, I mean, if I, do something and show you, you will get the actual way of doing it. Okay. Just pay attention. Huh? What I want is, I wanted to have a checkbox over here, right? And it should say, is active or not. Okay. So what I wanted to do is, what I want from your side is, if I click on this checkbox, so all the active courses should show. When I check off, right, all the inactive courses should come. Did you understand the assignment, guys? Let me just put it one more time. When you click on the checkbox, correct, all the active should show. When you check off the checkbox, then all inactive courses should be shown. Will you be able to do that? Yes or no? Yes. Right? Okay. So Deepam is saying we'll try. So Deepam, there's no term called we'll try. So when you say we'll try, means you're saying, okay, we'll see if it will be able to do. Okay, good. If not, then anyways, Ajay is there to, fix it. No. You say, I mean, you have to say that you will do it. Okay. You are going to live project. It's not a course. You're going to live project. So there's no option. You have to do it. Correct, Deepam? Correct, Babu? Right? So Rohit is saying, sir, I'm having a problem, an issue here. The table is not printed. Okay. So Rohit, do you mind sharing your screen? I mean, you wanted to share the screen? Yes? No? Anything? Okay. Yeah, Rohit, do you want to share your screen? Or let's do one thing. Yeah, we can use AnyDesk also. So what you do, Rohit, send me your AnyDesk credential and I'll, take it from there. Don't worry. So guys, yes, this is also a good idea. I used to use TeamViewer, but recently I happen to know it. I mean, I happen to see and happen to know that this AnyDesk is very fast. Okay, so you all install AnyDesk at your system, correct? And Rohit, you can send me over the WhatsApp also. Just send me your index link on the WhatsApp on my number. Okay, I'll take your system and check. Right? Cool. So did you all understand the assignment also? Simple assignment, correct? So guys, recording of last sessions has been there on the YouTube and I have forwarded the link also to you. I mean, paste the link also in the group, correct? This recording also I will send, but please, please, please do practice. Tomorrow we are starting the live project. Okay. So for now, it's Tata Bible from my side. Please make sure you complete all the assignment and practice also whatever we done so far. That's it from my side. I'm going now. Any question? So Pranshu saying, please answer. Answer of what, Pranshu? Answer of what? One second. Pranshu from Gurukul. What is your question? I did not see. Can you repeat one more time, Pranshu? So Meher is saying which application. So Meher, you create a sample application. So have you not started it with any practice? Have you not? Did you do any practice? I mean, in your sample application, you can do. You create a sample application. You follow the video, create a sample application, and do this assignment over there. Okay. So you're saying what is the way of creating the one single class, right? That's what you're saying. So okay. So you're talking about this one, Meher? You're saying show. I mean, you want to see the screen? Okay. So
Sir, you told na TeamViewer is slow.
any desk, any desk. Okay, any desk. Understood. Any desk is a application. Is an application. Any desk. Okay. Okay. Great. Pranshu, I would say let's do it in the. Okay. Let's do it over here. It was due also. Let's do it over here. Okay. So what Pranshu wanted to know, or what I told you, I'll be doing it is, if you see the issue as of now, if you see not issue, I mean, if you see as of now, for course, for service, I created a course class, and then the same class I have to repeat for component also. Correct? Right? So how can I make a single file and use it? Very simple. So these are called models basically. What we call it? Models. Okay, because these models are the one which carries the data, so we call it models. So what we'll do is, just like we created a folder called provider, similarly we'll create a folder called models. Okay, or model. We created a folder called model, and what we do, we'll add a new file over here. New file. Okay, that new file, I will call it course.ts. See how simple it is? Course.model.ts, right? Course.model.ts. Why? Because maximum files are ts. That is why you need to, for identification, for the better understanding, it's good to have the suffix. So if you see, uh, component is a ts class. One second, guys. Yeah. So you see, component is a ts class. Correct? So you can see all component ts file are having a suffix called component. All the service ts files are having suffix called services. Similarly, if you're creating a model will also going to be a ts file only. So you will add a suffix called model. And what you will do inside that, you will create, first of all, put export so that you can call it outside, so that you can call this thing outside, or you can import it. Correct? Best technical definition is you put export so that you can import it. And what you are exporting? You are exporting a class. Which class? What is the name of the class? Course class. Done. And now what I can do is I can simply remove. Let me just first of all copy it. Okay, and paste it. So now you can see, right? Now you can see the course class has been created. Course model has been created, right? And now what I need to do is, now it's a single file. Now what I need to do is, first of all, we go to our service and remove it from here, because we already have one file. I don't need to create again and again. But the moment I remove, you can see error came. Why? Because now, I mean, there's no reference. So, which means we add reference. Import statement, you need to go 2 stories up. Why? Because you are inside, the course folder, and the course model is in the model folder. So you go to model, there you have course model. Correct? Call it over here. Done. How simple it is, right? Same thing you need to do in a component. You go to component. In component also, you have created a separate course class or course type. Remove it. Again, you see error will come. No worries, because it's saying no reference, which means add reference. If you mouse over in it, you can see cannot find name course, because there is nothing like that in the file. So import it. Import. Again, you are in course folder. So one dot will take you to course folder. Second dot will take you to the app folder. Correct? So very easily you can identify how many dots I want. I mean, how many dots means, I mean, at which level I wanted to put. I wanted to go. So course, there you have, no, sorry. Model / course. And here you say course. Save. Let's see, will we get error or will we get the output? So you can see, I'm refreshing one more time. So you can see our we got the table. Correct, guys? Agree? All good? All good? Super. Right? So in real-time situation, this is, or real-time project, this is what we'll be doing. We'll be creating models and models and models, and those common models will be injecting in the services, in the components, maybe in some other model also. Correct? What if you have a trainer? Just think in this way, and it's a very valid scenario. Let's say you have a trainer model, and in the trainer model you need to put course model, because you need to define which course this trainer, let's say Ajay, is teaching. So Ajay is teaching, let's say, Angular course. So you need to put course model in the trainer model. So we see this complex modeling while we'll be doing the live project. Okay. So that's it from my side, guys. After 1 hour or max by 1.5, you will see this recording, in your WhatsApp chat. So do practice, make sure you finish it. And as I already announced, that tomorrow we're going to start our live project. Okay. So bye for now. See you guys. See you tomorrow.